Adrien Curiel versus Sivenathi Nontshinga 2. Well, the first fight didn't play out like I thought it would. And for many of us, right? That's the beauty of boxing. That's the beauty of sports, is when we talk about predictions, that's just what we think could happen. But until they get into the ring, we will not see what is going to happen until that night unfolds. And in the first fight between these two, especially in the first round, Nontshinga wasn't doing a bad job, in my opinion. He was moving well, slipping shots, ducking shots, trying to keep the distance, separation, using his jab. He had a nice sequence where Curiel had him on the ropes. Nontshinga turned him around, changed angles, and let off a three-piece combination and then got out of the way. But Curiel, as I said in the previous breakdown video, he's a pressure fighter. He is going to come forward. He's going to bring the pressure. He's going to let his hands go. And he was constantly in Nontshinga's face, letting off shots, regardless if they were hitting or not. He was busy with his pressure and his hands. And there were times when it looked like Nontshinga just missed countering with a big shot. But again, the pressure of Curiel, man, it was just tough for him to deal with. It was a lot to deal with. The second round goes off and it's more of the same, right, as the first round. Curiel brought the pressure, but he made subtle adjustments at the same time. He started cutting off the ring a little bit better, dipping his head real low to give different looks, different angles, and he slowed down the volume of his punches. He kept the pressure, right? The pressure of his presence and him being there, but he slowed down the volume of his punches because he was looking for the right shot, trying to find the right timing. And man, did he ever find the right shot and get the right timing all at once. Nontshinga came through with the left hand, put the jab out, and right when he put the left hand out, he had no defense after that. Because Curiel came over with the right hand with the same shot that Nontshinga had that left hand with. The right was over here. He couldn't defend himself. And Curiel was waiting for that moment. He was waiting for Nontshinga to put out that jab, came forward with the overhand right, landed cleanly on the side of his chin, and it was over with. Now, a lot of people were saying, man, that was a lucky shot by Curiel. I don't think it was a lucky shot, man. I thought he set that up pretty cleanly. He anticipated what Nontshinga was going to do, and he made a better adjustment, and he executed the right shot at the right time. And that was a shot that was able to close out the show. Thought it was a beautiful sequence, a beautiful, beautiful shot, man. So the question is, in any rematch, right? That fight only lasted 2 rounds. So the question is, like, what changes, right? Generally, whoever wins the first fight, and we've talked about this before, statistically, 65, 70% of the time, whoever wins the first fight, there's a good chance that they're going to win the second fight. Not to mention, this fight is in Mexico as well. So it makes it a lot harder for Nontshinga to come out on top. The odds are stacked against him even more. The ring might be smaller as well, too. Now, do I think Curiel is a big puncher? No, I still don't think so. He's got 5 knockouts in almost 30 fights, right? So not a big puncher to me. However, he has stopped his last 2 opponents by way of knockout. So maybe he's found something there at this stage in his career. Maybe he's sitting down on these punches a little bit more, feeling more confident a little bit more, and moving towards trying to get the stoppage and being intentional about that. And that, that has a way of doing something to your opponents and that confidence it brings within yourself. So who wins? I think Nontshinga is in tough again this week, man. The odds are not in his favor. As I mentioned, when a fighter becomes a champion, they get more confident in their skill. They get more confident in their minds. It's just that they just look different, even though they're one and the same, right? But you become a champion and there's a mental switch that turns on where you just get better. Not always like that for everybody, but it is like that for most of them. They just get 2 or 3% better. If Nontshinga is going to beat Curiel in Mexico, I think he's going to have to be very definitive in the rounds. he's either going to have to stop him or at least score a couple of knockdowns to make it definitive. And he also has some question marks, right? Like, what's my chin like now that I've been knocked out? I've seen Nontshinga take some big shots from other fighters like Flores, and he took it on the chin and he ate it and he didn't drop. But in this fight, it's a little bit different. And when you get dropped, when you lose a fight, how you lose matters because it plays with you. If I'm Curiel, I'm thinking to myself, man, I beat this guy once before. I can beat him again, right? So from a psychological standpoint, you would have to think Curiel has the edge because he not only beat Nontshinga and took the title, but in how he stopped him. And I'm at home. I get to sleep in my own bed. My peoples are there. So there's a lot of momentum favoring Curiel over Nontshinga. Do I think Nontshinga performs better in the rematch than he did in the first fight? Absolutely. Absolutely, I think he does. I think he will. But do I think Nontshinga has enough in his favor, in his odds? Yes, skill-wise, yes, I think so. But can he put it together on the night with everything that transpired in the last fight? Fighting in your opponent's home country, fighting with the notion, knowing, man, this guy's beat you. You're trying to get your get back. Are you going to be fighting with emotion? Are you going to be tactical? Are you going to be able to separate the two? What adjustments are you going to make in order to get the win over someone who just beat you? What's the game plan? Can Nontshinga weather the constant, consistent pressure of Curiel for 12 rounds? I don't think Curiel is a one-shot knockout type of guy, right? Even though he beat Nontshinga by a knockout, I don't think he's still that guy. But I think the constant pressure, and if he is letting his hands go as much as he did in the last fight, even though it was only 2 rounds, the volume and the body shots and the pressure and the constant volume and shots and under duress that Nontshinga is going to be under, I don't think this fight is going to work out in his favor. I think Curiel wins this fight by stoppage again. I think this fight goes a little bit later, but I think Curiel's constant pressure, the volume, it's already got that mental edge over Nontshinga, man. He's in Mexico. I think it's going to be tough for Nontshinga to come out on top. It is definitely not impossible. Nontshinga is still a good, solid fighter, still got good power in his shots, and he could change things with each shot that he puts forth. But things are stacked against him here, man. I think Adrien Curiel wins and defends his title. I think he wins by way of stoppage. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you like support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel. It will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate each of you. Shout out to all the members holding down the membership section. I appreciate each of you. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video, this time do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.